edit it. I don't feel like leaning forward.
Ow. Oh.
Just leave me room on you. That's what you need.
Yeah,
That's
you can
better.
you can do some editing there.
It's all good.
Uh,
All right. Are we ready?
yeah.
Okay. Babes.
Yeah.
Should we say? You're looking down.
Well,
All right. Welcome to A Visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
I'm Papa.
My name is also Valerie.
I'm Papa.
Or Jim. Smarty Pants.
Smarty Pants.
It is August 5th. And we are in Austin, Texas, where it is too hot for me. I don't know if it's too hot for others. It's too hot for me.
Our youngest granddaughter, Claire, just had a birthday.
She did.
So we did not get to see her, but happy birthday, baby girl.
Happy birthday, Claire. And my daughter and son-in-law had their anniversary.
Same day.
Happy anniversary.
My poor daughter got to spend her anniversary giving birth to her last daughter. Not exactly the way anybody would like to spend their anniversary. But...
No, I don't know, because they're a whole lot better than spending your anniversary in pain waiting for the baby to be born. I'm just saying.
Well,
like,
she was still in pain.
No, but
it didn't
I'm
happen
just
at
saying,
the very beginning of her birthday.
Knowing there's an end, that's not so bad. Anyway. Long story short, welcome. We're going to down and dirty about the knitting. I did finish my tea. This is the Vibes Tea by Tiffany Lynn. It is one of the options for a pattern that we're going to do a knit along in September or October. There's also a DK weight pattern. I did make mine a little roomy because I don't like it being tight when it's in the summer. I want it airy and light. And the yarns I used, the green is... Who dyed the green, James? It's Thrive by...
I know what it is. It's Thrive by Jude, but I did that on purpose. So there. Hi, Angela. Yeah, I got it right this time.
And Jude's company is Stranded Dye Works. It'll be linked below. And then the really light lavender and the dark purple are Dystopic Fibers, also from the UK, also linked below. And then the bright purple is Long Dog Yarn. She is in Louisiana, if memory serves correct.
Would not know.
And I did not use the full skein of any of them. The dark purple, probably 80 grams. The lavender, just over 50 grams. And the other colors, not even 40. So.
And we did have a few guesses on the
we're going to go into
wall of yarn.
Yeah.
The car equivalent of yarn. My friends, you all were so not even close. If we added all of the guesses together, you might be close. Yes.
Yeah. So in that, so I did count, and I'll be putting some photos here. But
yeah, the entire bed was covered with yarn. The dressers were covered with yarn. She only took a picture of the bed. She didn't pan around and show you all.
I took 3 separate pictures, and all 3 separate pictures were 3 separate sets of yarn.
Yeah, there's so much yarn it had to be subdivided. It couldn't just be yarn. Couldn't be yarn by weight. It had to be yarn that was not yet broken into, yarn that has had some of it used, and yarn that she spun.
Or dyed.
Or dyed.
One or the other.
Or both.
Yeah, there was a couple that I did both. Anyway, so total counts
Now, see, we had some disagreement about how you count. My personal opinion is if you bought this and it came in a little wad that said this is a skein of yarn, it counts. Whether it was a 50 or 100 gram, it's a skein. And if it came in this big ass thing called a cone, and it has 1,500 grams, well, I think that at a minimum that counts as 15 skeins. Could count it as 30 if you went with the little 50-gram skeins. But so bear with this. This is with a grain of salt. This is a minimum number.
No, I'm going to give you your full. If I just put all of them, how many individual things of yarn sold as those things, there were 661. But that's counting.
Almost the number of the beast.
That's counting, like, that is not counting any leftovers or extra, like, that's just brand new skeins of yarn. Untouched, not open, not used.
Mm-hmm.
Then the used add an additional 94 leftovers. So those are, and those range anywhere from 10 grams to 90 grams. And with at least half of them being at least 50 grams. At least half of that. There was 284 100-gram skeins not dyed by me. 41 100-gram skeins dyed by me. 134 50-gram balls not Holst. 133 individual minis. And 11 cones. And 61 50-gram cakes, all Holst. So either Holst Super Soft, Holst Tides, or Holst Coast. So. And that's, yeah, a lot. It's a lot of yarn.
That's a lot of yarn. Now, when I say that she's got enough yarn to buy a car, she's got enough yarn to buy a car.
Especially given what was paid for some of the
yes, yarn. I know.
The Holst was not.
The Holst was the bargain yarn out of all this, and when you consider that it is coming from Norway.
No, Denmark, but
Denmark,
close enough.
Coming from Denmark, and the way you order your Holst yarn, for those who have not tried this yet, she loves it, but you're going to pay $30 in shipping. Whether you order one skein or whether you order several skeins, you're going to pay $30 in shipping. What you do is you keep adding to your cart. Start with what I want, and you work your way down. And when you get down to, you keep watching the price. Keep watching the price on shipping. And as soon as the last thing that you put in the cart makes your shipping go over $30, you take that out of your cart because that was shit you didn't like anyway. It was, If you're still up on you need to work on that because you have a problem.
Okay, wait. So.
Yes.
I want you to look up, hold on.
No.
Marie Wallin. Seriously, I want you to look up while we're talking Marie Wallin design. When someone is going to make a Marie Wallin design, they need more than just a few different colors of yarn.
This woman?
Yeah, let me show you her designs. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting there. That's a mild one. These are her normal. They have bunches and bunches and bunches of colors.
Can y'all see how many colors there are in that?
And it's not even done because it has more going down.
Yeah, that's just what they felt like showing. There's more.
They're pretty intense. So I
remember those old Ronco commercials? But wait, there's more.
Yep. Anyway, so in those cases, you may end up needing more than what you can get. But the good thing is with Marie Wallin, you would only getting one cone, and all the rest would be individual. So you should be okay.
Yeah.
But still,
you can get a lot of yarn fit into that $30 shipping. So instead of just buying one skein of yarn when you need it, save your money and buy up until you change your shipping. Otherwise, you're going to pay that $30 every time you ship. What?
Can you put a pause for 1 second?
I blew my nose. And apparently, the toilet paper that I blew my nose in was less than integrous. And it left a little
tissue his nose.
Inside of my nose.
Hanging out of his nose.
And I did not know this, but my wife noticed this, and she put pause on. So we put pause, and now I think she wanted to start all over again. We're not going to do that. We've already done that part. If you didn't like the tissue, good news. There's no more tissue for the rest of the show. If you like the tissue, well, bummer, because all good things must end. So let's say goodbye to the tissue. Bye.
All right.
We were discussing yarn and cars and volumes of yarn and buying from Holst.
No one got close to the yarn, to the quantities. But we got some really good guesses, so that was cool.
Yeah, we did.
And important disclaimer. None of the yarns in projects, wound up for projects, were counted.
Yeah, so I want y'all to know that probably covers another 15 to 30 skeins of yarn.
Because 6 of, this has 9. This one sweater has 9 50-gram balls. Now, I don't know that I'll use all 9, but it has 9 ready to be used. No, that's not right. 4, 5, 6, 8. It has 8 balls.
Well, the difference between 8 and 9 is a very big difference.
Anyway, so...
Well, it's true. If somebody was whacking you in the head with a pencil and they said 8 or 9, you'd take 8 every time because that's one more whack in the head with a pencil.
So, I'm not done. But I don't have far. This sleeve is done. The end is not woven in. But I just have to finish the sleeve. I work on this on Zooms or when we're watching shows. But I can't work on it for very long because the bigger needles are not comfortable in my hands. So, and I'm still struggling with a little bit with pain in my hands. So
I wonder if there's a new Star Trek we haven't watched.
And I did not count I have another skein of this. I did not put it in my count because more than likely I'm still going to need it. So it'll be used in this, so I didn't count it in my counting yarns. Nor did I count the partials that are still being worked. All right. And do you want to talk about a TV or movie? You want me to talk about my new cast on first?
Well, we didn't talk about Good Omens last week, so we probably ought to mention Good Omens.
I love Good Omens.
Good Omens 2.
Watch one if you haven't watched one yet.
You have to watch one before you hit 2.
Disclaimer. If you are religious, it may not be your ballywag. If you are not religious and Good Omens makes you worried that it is religious, it's not. It is, but it's not.
Okay, just not to give anything away, but the gist of the story, both seasons, is you have a demon who does good. And you have an angel who
doesn't always
do good because he has vices and angels aren't.
Okay, back to Good Omens. We had to cut a little bit out there. So it is referencing Angels and Demons. It is hilarious and serious, and it's just really, really good. I can't remember the name of the other actor, but it has David Tennant and this other guy, and they're great. And I have yet to see anything with David Tennant in it that I didn't like.
That's because I wouldn't let you see them.
I know, but there's some that he's done that I can't watch because of I can't watch anything scary. But he is one really, really good actor.
Michael Sheen.
Okay, so Michael Sheen and David Tennant, and it's hilarious. So if you get a chance, it's on Prime. So if you don't have Prime, I'm so sorry. But if you do, well worth the watch. And we binge. Like, we watched the whole first season in one day. And then we watched the whole second season in one day. And we had rewatched the first season again before season 2 came out in one day. We tend to. If it's really good, it's sucks you in and we stay there. And there's
that's
not
the
that
beauty
many
of watching
episodes.
it on like Netflix or whatever. This happens to be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime. If anybody knows how we can watch Schitt's Creek again, I really, really want to watch Schitt's Creek again. So comment down below how to stream Schitt's Creek.
You know, you can probably do it with a membership to somebody.
I don't know.
Just not to any of the bodies that we have.
So good. Yeah, Daniel Levy, epic. Anyway, so
They're very humorous.
I finished this sweater, and I am really close to finishing the Lento. So I cast on in 100% silk, a gold yarn, and got about, I don't know, an inch into it, inch and a half into it, and I read the pattern wrong, and I ripped the whole thing out, and I chucked the yarn back in a bag and put it in the wall of yarn, and went, I'm not knitting it.
Are you talking the gold one?
Mm-hmm.
She's not the only one that ripped that thing out, so she had help.
Yeah,
and then she made a mess, and somebody had to untangle her mess, and then she saved her mess because it had a knot in it, and I was trying to get the knot out, and it was coming very close to my fingernails, cutting the knot out, so she saved it.
My ball winder does not like winding silk. It just turns it into a mess. So what I was doing was trying to rewind the original ball in a cleaner way, so then when I frogged it, it would be on this nice, neat ball. But what it ended up doing is just creating this chaotic mess. So he helped me with my mess, and then I finished when it got tangled up. I finished unwinding, but we got it unwound, and it's back in the bin, not in the trash bin, just in the bucket bin. In the yarn bin. And I don't know if and when it'll come back out, but it ain't coming back out anytime soon. But I have been wanting for a very long time to make a specific gift knit. And I'm not going to say who it's for because it's not anybody else's business. And that person finally replied to me, and I had offered to make the Once and Floral by Max the Knitter, or Maxim Cyr, who is part of Les Garçons. Photo of the pattern, I'll put it here. And so I messaged them and said, hey, would you wear the Once and Floral? And they said, yeah, if it was in neutral colors. So, in my stash, I happened to have 4 50-gram cakes of this navy, 2 50-gram balls of this gray, and 2 50-gram balls of this natural. And so, I cast on. But, I mean, it's barely. But it takes a while. Yeah, y'all can't see nothing. You can't tell I've done anything. But there is some stitches on there. And I just want to shout out to Mega of Skeins of Dreams. If you're not following her, she's so good. But Mega posted that she was doing a jacquard. I think it was a back jacquard or jacquard back, anyway, ladder or something like that, in doing color work. And it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's basically like doing double knit, except you're not double knitting every stitch. And it puts the floats in the back as a separate fabric so that it's not wrapped around the other fabric, so it doesn't peek through. You can't see it except for on the stitches you want to see it. And it's just brilliant. It looks so much better. The first row that I did, I only did the first like 3 sections of color work. On the first row of color, I didn't use it. And then I kept seeing the color and I'm like, and then I remembered she said something. So I followed what her instructions were and came back around and then followed the instructions for all the rows after. And it's brilliant. Now, is it fast knitting? No. It's not fast knitting.
Wow.
But the result, I think, is just beautiful. And there's no puckering happening in my knitting, which makes me super happy. And, like, see how nice that looks?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll show you the front of the row. See? My first rows, you down here, you see that peeking through.
Mm-hmm.
But then over here, when I use the other, you can't hardly see them. They're not there. So I'm just really happy. And I'm excited. It's going to take a while, but I literally cast this on yesterday. So I'm very happy about that. I have been really busy with work, more than normal. That's because lots of people are participating in a cowl with Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. If y'all do like crochet or you want to learn crochet, Mikey's an excellent resource. And he could use some support because he's been getting some bullies of late. So,
that seems to be the one thing that we never run out of on this planet. Bullies. Assholes.
I think I don't know what's caused it, but I think it's like people think they have a license now to be ugly.
It's the anonymity of the internet.
It's just
you can say anything you want to about anybody, and it's really hard to find out who that person was. And Jack Jaw 120 can say that Mary is a horrible person and she fillets puppies and uses the meat to catch whales. And Mary's like, I don't even have puppies. And why would I try and catch a whale? Doesn't matter, because Jackjaw done said this, so it's on the internet forever. And all the people who hate killing puppies and all the people who hate killing whales are all now hating Mary, and they're sending Mary death threats, and they're telling Mary, I know where you live. All because Jackjaw 120 didn't use his real name, which was Jackass 120.
So anyway,
and blamed her for something that didn't even happen. And
if you have a moment, just pop over to the Crochet Crowd and I don't know, send a positive message, like a video, do something, or go onto his Facebook. I just think it'd be cool if we
more positive.
If we send some happy messages, because I think he could use it.
To quote a beautiful little girl in Maryland, be kind.
Yeah.
Hi, Hazel.
So that's my knitting. It's not that exciting. I'm doing the Once in Floral, and I'm finishing the Lento I will be casting on another sweater tomorrow. But the reason that I'm casting it on is that the lintel will be done in the next day or two. And I don't know how other people do their Sundays, but one of my things for years has been I check my whips and I see if there's a hole. In other words, do I have something that I can just sit and knit and while we're watching a show? Or can I come in and sit and knit while we're playing word games?
Can it be knit in the dark? Because some shows you have to have the lights off, some shows you don't.
And so I just need to make sure that I need something that is complicated, enter once in floral. And then I need something that is just smooth sailing. And so tomorrow there's going to be a cast-on party for the podcast Recreational Knitting, and I'm helping host that for her. And so I will probably cast on another sweater for that, or I may, because I still have my anchor tee that needs to like it's just knitting, so I might just use that, but it depends. The problem with the anchor tee is that the anchor tee is in the exact same size needle as this, and I have to have projects in different size needles, so I would really like to cast something on using a US 7 or a US 8. So I don't know, maybe because I do want to make some things for Knit the Rainbow, and I did just go through a ton of yarn and figure out what's there. I did find, and he will tell you, I found a brown yarn and a mohair that go really good together. And so I might just wind those up and cast on a hat tomorrow. And that means that the hat will be done early and I'll have something else to send. Before we're done here, I do need to mention, so I'm just going to do that and then we'll go into the books and movies. But first, if you want to join Gary from Gary Knits, Gary Rides here on YouTube and on Instagram is starting up the next season of the End AIDS Knit Alongs and Crochet Alongs, and the fall season is all about accessories. So there's different options to choose from. There's one designer who has a hat and mittens, and you can make either the hat or the mittens or both. And then there's a dyer. The dyer has the yarn for that if you want to buy the yarn. Part of the sales of the yarn go to his fundraiser. The pattern sales go straight to the designer, but then he has tickets that you can buy to participate. He also has a sock pattern and a dyer that dyed the yarn. The designer for this sock is Beatrice Rubio, and don't freak out, y'all, but I'm doing the sock. I'm doing the sock for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, it's Beatrice Rubio, and y'all know I love her patterns. Number 2, it's a cabled sock, and I think that would be excellent practice because coming up very soon, I plan on casting the Timberline on for someone who says he would like to wear the Timberline if I made it. And number 3, when she told the story of how the design came about, she made the cables on the sock because to her the cables meant we can't fight AIDS alone. We can't end AIDS alone. It has to take everybody coming together and working together. And we can't fight discrimination towards gays and lesbians and trans and blacks and browns, and we just can't fight that alone. It takes a village. It takes everybody coming together. So she put these cables that are constantly crossing each other up the sock to represent togetherness. And on either side of the cable are ladders. And she specifically added these ladders to represent we keep making steps forward to come out of the abyss, but we still have steps to go. And I just thought that was beautiful, and the thought of wearing socks that mean that just mean a lot to me. So I'm gonna make the socks. I know, don't fall out of your pants, anybody. Just like, what? She's making socks. Anyway.
Speaking of the abyss, you didn't plan on that.
Well, no, wait, but before, there's some other ones, so go over and check out, because there's 7 different patterns, 5 different designers, 5 different dyers. You do not have to buy the yarn if you want to use your stash, but you would have to use the patterns that are there, and you would have to buy a ticket to be eligible for the prizes. Also, Tuesday nights is our Zoom. Anyone is welcome. You don't have to be participating in the cow to come to the Zoom, but
you can just go and make donations.
Yes.
You don't have to participate. You don't have to knit. You don't have to buy yarn. You don't have to buy a pattern. You can just say, hey, I'm going to give some money to this worthy cause, and then you can give them money and they'll be happy, and you don't have to do anything with yarn.
This is true for those.
For those of you who do not yarn, because somebody else does all the yarn you need in your life.
Yeah, you can, and he has a Ko-fi page where he accepts the donations, but he also, where you can buy tickets, but he also has an actual donation page on the rides page, and it has his name, so there's a link, and you can just, if you just want to donate, you don't have to go through the Ko-fi.
Or if you know somebody that knits or crochets, then you can just buy them the stuff and make it a gift, a surprise. You buy it for them and have it mailed directly to them, and then when it shows up, they go, "Oh, what? I didn't order this." You're like, "Surprise!" And maybe they'll surprise you back and give you the socks,
or the hat, or the mittens,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't send it to them and expect them to give it back to you. That's not how the gifts work. Hey, look, I bought you yarn and a pattern so you can make me socks. No. You bought them yarn and a pattern because you love them, and they made these socks, and they said, wow, I bet Franklin would love these socks, and I'm going to hook them up. We actually have a friend in Wyoming who goes by the name of Franklin Sharp Slicer on Facebook, because he, I don't know if he still does, but he used to teach fencing. And that's where he got his sharp slicer from. Anyway, okay. Now, she said Abyss, and Abyss reminded me of one of the movies that I watched this week. I went and watched Meg 2. I know you're going, what? Why would you do that? Because I can see 3 movies a week for free. That's why. So, the thing from AMC is great. You can see 3 movies a week for free. Sometimes you are very challenged to find 3 movies a week you want to see, or you go and see the same movies over again, which is okay, because I am a firm believer in, I have AMC A-list. I can go pee whenever I want. When I come back in, I go, that's what was happening, and I don't go the next time until that's happening. And what's it going to cost me? Nothing. It cost me exactly what it cost me to have A-list. So I went and saw Meg 2. If you saw Meg 1 and you walked out of that going, God, that was the dumbest shit ever, don't go see this one. If you walked out of Meg 2 going, that was all right. It was kind of humorous. It had some good funny lines in it. Did all right with making their megalodons. I'm okay. Go see Meg 2. It's more of the same. Only it has one thing that Meg 1 didn't have, which is better than Meg 1. The movie starts off with a survival of the fittest thing so that everybody can understand how carnivores work. This eats that, that eats this eats that, and then Megalodon comes out of the water, grabs a T-Rex and says, "I'm last," and takes it in the water. Possibly one of the best parts of the movie. I enjoy it a lot. And I saw it in 3D, so watching that happen in 3D, pretty cool. Especially when the little dragonfly flying around and something snatches him out of the air. Look good. Look good. The 3D is good for depth, but there's not a whole lot of the hokey coming at you out of the screen stuff. But it's got some really good depth stuff. And I think there was a couple of Megalodon opened his mouth to bite you that came out of the screen, but honestly, I think that was kind of a little hokey. But hey, what do I know? Never been bitten by a Megalodon, so what do I care? But Meg 2, if you like Meg 1, go see Meg 2. If you hated Meg 1, don't waste your time on Meg 2. If you didn't see Meg 1, perhaps go and watch that for free on some channel that is... yes, my dear.
I'm back. I'm going to lean back.
You're going to lean back? Well, you're going to be way out of... I'm going to lean forward. So see, now they're all... Oh, what? She's probably going to edit that shit out. Anyway, if you haven't seen Meg 1, watch it on a streamer for free if you can. And then you'll know whether or not you want to waste your time and money going to Meg 2. If you have A-list, well, what the hell? You're not wasting anything. It's a movie. If you have the ability to go see it in 3D, I recommend 3D. I usually recommend 3D because I like the depth that you get from... I'm not all that care about the goofy stuff of coming off the screen, but I do like the depth of field. What do you got next? Or is it all me?
I think it's all you. I don't know.
It's all me? Yeah. Books, I'm still reading the Jonathan Moeller books that you have to start with the first book. So I'm not going to mention them. And as usual, Jonathan Moeller went to the same school of writing as D.K. Holmberg, in which we don't waste our time and money hiring somebody to edit this. We just give it to sycophants who say, "Oh, John, that was great." But we don't tell John that there's a difference between S-T-E-E-L, as in a sword made out of steel, and S-T-A-L, as in steel second base. If you're trying to use S-T-A-L in a sword fight, you're gonna lose. Just so you know. There's things like that happen in his books because independent authors don't feel responsible for making any kind of edits. That's what real authors and publishers do.
It's what publishers do, but I think that there are some independent who actually find and hire editors, but there are some who don't.
There are a lot who don't.
And if they can get their feet in the door and make sales and not have to pay, I mean, I understand it. If you're not, especially those who don't charge. I think once you start charging for it, you should be having an editor. But who am I to tell someone else what to do?
Exactly.
I can tell you that I have not read anything from DK in a very long time.
Yeah.
Nor have I read from Jonathan Moeller in a very long time.
But we are getting closer. We are getting closer to a new book by Kevin Hearn.
No, that I will read. But he gets edited.
He gets edited.
He actually pays for an editor.
Yes, but because he's a...
Way to go, Kevin Hearn. Oh, guess what? He's coming to Austin.
Wait, no way. When?
I think so.
When?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I'll have to look that up. That would be great to see. If you get a chance to go and meet Kevin Hearn, he's seems to be a very personable, very nice person. Yeah. I am looking forward to the possible opportunity. Also, there is a young lady, I believe her name is Allie the Piper. Check her out on Facebook. She plays bagpipes. Don't go... She doesn't just play Amazing Grace on the bagpipes. She plays AC/DC on the bagpipes. She plays Queen on the bagpipes. She plays all kinds of stuff on the bagpipes, and it's pretty amazing. So, Allie the Piper, go check her out. You might like her. And if you don't, well, leave her alone, because there's a lot of other people that do like her, so don't say any mean, nasty shit to her. It turns you into a troll. Did you know trolls exist? They do. They just aren't what everybody thinks they are from fantasy. They're middle-aged fat assholes who have to go out and be mean to people because nobody knows who they are. If I could actually figure out who they are, I would send them something in their computer that every time they wrote a nasty comment, it would make everything they've done for the last 45 days delete. Oh, you know what? It would cure their nasty little spewing garbage at people. And also make it so that they wouldn't be able to do that anymore because it killed all their shit that they wrote for the last 45 days. I wish that could happen. What else did I see? I went and saw Mutant Ninja Teenage Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Whatever.
Turtles.
Yeah, those guys. I love you.
I don't even like them, but I at least know their name.
I don't like them all that much myself, but my nephew, when he was young, was into the Teenage Ninja Mutants.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, whatever. He was into the little freaking turtles that go waka 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 waka, and he thought they were great. He's beyond that now. He's 40-some years old. He should be. But I went and saw it. If you watch the cartoons, which I had grandchildren, so I've seen the cartoons. And if you know the origin stories from previously, this movie has nothing to do with those turtles. This movie takes its own slant on everything, and it's okay. I mean, we're talking about fake turtles that have the ability to do martial arts. Does it matter? Really? The origin story for them is completely different. Some of the people that you are used to having in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles don't exist in this movie. Some people are different. There's a lot of people who are new that weren't in the others. But the reason I recommend this movie is because of the whole message of this movie is acceptance. And what people who are on the fringes and people who have been marginalized are willing to do to try and be accepted. And when they realize that they're never going to be accepted by trying to be accepted, by trying to win these people's favor, and they just go out and they do what they do and they be who they are, and you can either accept me or you can't. It's not going to change me. That's the message of the movie. Therefore, that's why I think that it's worth your money to go see this movie. Unless you have A-list and then you pay your $20 and you can go see all the movies you want. Once again, I saw this in 3D. And it's okay. It's not amazing. The artwork is way different than the artwork for the TV cartoon series. And it's substantially different than the print. I'm not sure why they went that direction, but apparently that's the new wave in doing cartoons. If it is, they need to roll that shit back and go back to the old wave because it looked better. I'm not a fan of the... It's the difference between having an artist draw you a picture of Superman and having your 7-year-old nephew draw you a picture of Superman. As long as somebody labels both of those pictures, you're going to know that that's Superman. One of them's probably going to be easier to recognize that it's Superman.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but generally speaking, yes. And Superman's not really fair because it's pretty easy to figure out who Superman is. He's the clown that wears his underwear on the outside of his suit. Most people wear them on the inside, Superman. Just saying. So that's it for the movies, books and movies. I went and saw 2 movies. Meg 2. If you haven't seen Meg 1, go see Meg 2. After you've seen Meg 1, or don't go see Meg 2 at all, because you're not going to be jazzed. There's a lot of funny stuff happens in it. And turtles, however, all that mutation shit. And if you're a purist, if you really like the way that the origin story was for them, and you're not going to be happy with a different origin story, don't go. Because it's not just the origin story that's different. If you love the turtles for what they were, you may not love the turtles for what they are. Just saying. Oh, a friend of ours, we were discussing brioche. And because of her brioche sweater last week, and we were discussing brioche bread and the things you can do. And she sent me a recipe for a brioche casserole, which sounds a lot like a brioche apple bread pudding. Sounds delightful. And as soon as I can get my hands on some brioche, I'm thinking we're probably going to experiment with that. Her recipe required rum, and we'll probably not do that in our recipe because, I probably won't do that. I'm not a big fan anymore. Back when I used to drink, I was. And then I had a surgery, and it altered my sense of smell and taste, and I'm not. Really a bummer because it killed my ability to drink my single malt Irish whiskeys, and my single malt scotches, and my Guinness Draft, and my Smittix, and all kinds of good stuff. No longer tastes good, so why waste the money? But so I don't have any rum because I don't like rum anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this sans rum and still make it tasty.
So I only have one last little something. And just a reminder, it's probably going to be the last time I even bring it up until the last week of the month. But if you want to join us for the knit along, again, I'm not charging a single penny, but it will be a password protected Zoom. You will only be able to access it with the link I'll be sending. And if anyone joins who hasn't sent me, I will be removing them from the room. And it's not to be mean, but because I'm going to be going over pattern information that is copyrighted, and the pattern is by Tiff Nealon. So the only thing you have to do to join us is send some proof of purchase of either the Stripes of Joy or the Vibes tee. Either pattern will work, but I do need a proof of purchase. And once I have that, then I will be, the last week of the month, I will be sending out those links. And if you can't afford the pattern, we have had 2 people reach out to offer to buy the pattern should someone want a scholarship for the pattern.
Public service announcement. Those of you who play the lottery, Mega Millions currently estimated to be worth $1.5 billion for the next drawing. So if you get to see this before the next drawing, go buy a ticket. Drop $10 on a ticket, on a Quick Picks, whatever. You're betting $10 that you could become a $1.5 billionaire. How long do you think $1 billion has to last us?
The rest of our life?
Exactly. I might have to have it all spent by next week. You never know. Anyway, what would you do with $1 billion? And last but not least, answer this week needs to be in comments for this week. We are getting ready to schedule our next tea time with Nana and Papa. And I would like y'all to tell us when and where what we get where the most people have the ability to attend, that is when we will do it. And Enid, Angela, please make sure you let us know when you can do tea time, because I want you to be there. I had a very wonderful time visiting with you the last time.
I'm so sad you didn't mention.
Oh, Gemma, I forgot. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We want you to come too. Absolutely. I feel bad because you were wonderful, and we had a great tea time. So, those of you who went last time, please come again. Those of you who didn't, you're all welcome. And just
but let us know when, so we know when to schedule it.
Knitting with her, and who knows with me. You never know what's going to come up with me. Except it's probably going to be crazy.
All right, and then should we give a winner? Should we give them a pattern for who got closest?
We'd have to look, but yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
We can do that.
I don't remember who gave us the biggest one, but somebody did.
Yeah, somebody did,
300 but something.
Somebody did.
They got halfway there.
Next time I tell you something, trust me.
And I didn't even count the 94 leftovers in the 660. 661, 664. No, I don't remember.
661. If you had counted 5 more, then people would have been shunning you because you would be you were the Antichrist of yarn.
But I feel that count is inaccurate because that gives a count of 1 for every mini, and a 20-gram mini or a 10-gram mini, to me, shouldn't count the same as a 100-gram ball of yarn.
And to me, a 100-gram cake of yarn should count as 250-gram cakes, because whatever is the common denominator, what can you buy it in? That's what it is.
But it's
not a sweaters quantity. We didn't say how many sweaters quantities of yarn, how many skeins of yarn.
Right. So the vast majority are 100-gram skeins.
But that's not all. Because otherwise you wouldn't have all those little balls of yarn that are only 50.
Companies like this is Quince & Co. Quince & Co. makes you think that their yarn is cheap because they only charge you $14 for their skeins. But they're 50-gram skeins. So then when you get 100 grams like the rest of the folks out there, you're paying $28. But I did not pay either of that because I got this when it was on clearance.
But see that.
But still.
But that's actually, and I want y'all to check this out. See if you actually have noticed this, and if not, when you go grocery shopping next time, look. The people think that we're all ignorant and we won't notice, but if you look at what you're buying,
all the sizes have
you
changed
will find
dramatically.
That maybe not dramatically. They may have only shrunk by an ounce. Maybe 2.
But I'm saying when you look at all the different sizes, the dramatic is the number of products that are changed.
Almost everything has shrunk. They're still charging the same price or more, but it's smaller because you're just used to grabbing that can. And it used to be a 16-ounce can, but now it's a 15-ounce can. And everybody's like, what big deal about 15 ounce? What big deal about 1 ounce? Well, okay, they sold 16-ounce cans for $1. They made $16. They sell 15-ounce cans for $1.25. But they have saved 15 ounces.
Yeah, a product
that now makes another can.
Yeah.
So now they have 17 cans at $1.25.
Yeah.
Do the math. I think they call that shrinkflation, because they don't think that you'll notice that my cereal box looks skinnier. Don't you wish you could do that on you? Hey, shrinkflation doesn't work.
I love you.
I love you too.
So that's all we have for this week. I will probably be posting another tutorial. Oh, just so you know, I did put up because I had 2 people reach out and ask how they add photos to Ravelry so that they can put their photos in for the September or the summer summer sweater knit along. Anyway, it ends at the end of the month. So I posted a tutorial. You're killing me.
I'm sitting still.
I posted a tutorial for how to add your photos to Ravelry. It's super important that you use the project folders. I don't know why Ravelry does this, but if you put photos on your project, it's free. So if you create a project and you post photos, it's free. It doesn't cost a dime. But when you go into the forums and you're communicating with other people and you're talking about a cow and you want to share your project, or you know what I mean? So if you go to upload a photo, you have to pay a service charge of $5 a month to upload photos. But if you put it in the project first and then you, instead of upload in there, you just do share project photo, it's free. So I did a tutorial on how to do it so you can always do it free. And I uploaded it the other day. So it's already on the channel.
And all the stuff that we did at Joann's Fabric, somebody was trying to make room on their camera.
We lost most of it.
Make room on their phone. And a lot of that went the way of the dodo.
Yeah, so...
And unless they figure out a way to find some dodo DNA and clone it, there are no more dodos. So we will have to go and reshoot the Joann Fabric.
And I have a question. Is there a request for me to show how to shop in a store like Joann's for the knit along that we're doing in September? Because if there is, I am happy to do so.
We were going to go to a yarn store in Georgetown this morning, and I just did not have the juice to do that today. If I have the juice to do it sometime this week, there is a Museum of Illusion in Austin. It just opened. And we have been talking back and forth about me taking an excursion with Nana and Papa. Only it'll just be an excursion with Papa because they told me that it would be best if I visited it during the week, during the morning. During the week, during the morning, my beautiful has to work. Therefore, it'll just be me going and checking out the Museum of Illusion and
but
telling
y'all
you
don't
what I
mind
see.
Anyway, because he's the funny one.
I love you.
You are. Anyway.
I believe they say we are
but
delightful. We are
we're
humorous.
funny because you make me laugh. Not because I am. Anyway.
Yes, you are.
Um.
We were. This song just got popped into my head yesterday. Mm-hmm. What's Up by Four Non Blondes. And I had discovered that that's the only song I knew by Four Non Blondes. And we checked out some more of them, and I actually like Four Non Blondes. So one of these days, we're just going to sit down and listen to some Four Non Blondes when I'm not reading a book, because I like to listen to the lyrics.
Should we do that in Red Hot Chili Peppers, since I have no idea what their music is either?
Not the same day, but yeah, we can do that.
I know, I'm just saying.
But
and what is the band that the guy that's on The Voice UK?
I don't know.
What is his band called? Why
I have
can't
no
I think?
But
is it Red Hot Chili Pepper?
I don't know. But we went from listening to Four Non Blondes, that one song, What's Up, to Juice Newton. My beautiful darling sitting on the bed serenading me singing to Juice Newton. It was awesome.
That because I know Juice Newton. I can't help it. I don't mean to be.
I was not complaining.
I grew up to
She
Juice
sounded
Newton.
very nice while she was singing Juice Newton to me.
Which is nice because most people pay me to shut up.
I love you.
I have literally been given money to stop singing.
See, there was a guy in Denver who had bagpipes, and I would say he played the bagpipes, but he didn't. He would stand down on the 16th Street Mall, and he would stand in front of restaurants during rush hour traffic for dinner with their busiest, not playing anything, just abusing the shit out of a set of bagpipes. And they would come out and they would give him money to go play at the competition's restaurant.
They would.
And he'd go there, and they would pay him to go play some anywhere. Just go play some. Thank you. And he made a lot of money by getting kicked out because they couldn't kick him out.
Because he wasn't in the restaurant. He was just out front of the restaurant.
He was on the sidewalk, and sidewalk performing was legal on the 16th Street Mall, so they couldn't have him arrested, but he was driving off business. So basically they would go and negotiate a price for you to go away. Far away. Not that far. It's only so much room.
I would never do that, but I would. I probably would just delete that little bit.
That you're going to be doing some editing here. Anyway.
We will see you all next week. Before I forget, Mama, love you.
Love you, Mama.
And to every single person that messaged me on my last video, thank you. It was a rough day. I probably shouldn't have posted it, but I think the reason that I did is I just felt like maybe I'm not the only one. And so thank you very much.
And thank you to everybody that actually comes and watches us. Leave us comments, love comments, try and answer them.
Yeah.
We're here to have fun. If you're having fun, tell us. Well, we'll have fun with you. And tell us when to do coffee or tea with Nana and Papa. Yes, my dear. Don't pee to bed. You are my beautiful. I love you. I love you too. I'm going to turn this off before she makes a mess.
Oh, dear.
Bye, Mama.